Hello everyone and welcome to Geopolitical Trends. My name is David Oualaalou. So good to be with you as always. Large-scale labor strikes in the UK is paralyzing that country. So the question becomes, is the UK economy going down the drain? In this video, I am going to provide you insights into how significant this is, since Western media are not providing more detail about this topic, and we put it within the global context. So before I do all this, I want to express my sincere thanks and appreciation to the members, supporters, and the members, of course. But I also want to thank all you subscribers. Without you, there would be no channel here. So I want to thank you also. And for you, if this is the first time you landed on this channel or this video here, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification button so you will be notified every time I upload new video. And thank you all for your support. So let's dive into this. So a large-scale labor strike, which took place just a few days ago in England. It's like the largest in about 10 years, as many trade unions got involved. Based on the research that I did, was about 5 unions, school teachers, train and bus drivers, security guards, university lecturer, and civil servants. Yeah, all of them. When they announced the strike, the reason for it was to protest the low wages and demand a raise in their salaries, which is rightly so. In light of the, of course, energy crisis, inflation, and a wave of high commodity prices, food prices, and so forth. So it's rightly so. What does the British government expect? Just people will be paying taxes without, they can't afford it anymore. So thousands of people joined the march in central London, which was aimed at reaching the Prime Minister's office for one purpose and one purpose only, is to demand the higher or increase in wages. And once again, is the right thing to do. So unions got involved, which is the largest union of public sector employees, have sort of issued like a warning of sort to the Chancellor by the name Jeremy Hunt. I had to dig into this guy's background to find out exactly. So, well, the reason why they warned him is because the strikes could continue if their demands are not met, Well, and since he is the Chancellor, he needs to work out a deal for the demonstrators to have their salaries increased. This is where the union is very, very important. So you're looking at the increased pay for nurses, for paramedics, for emergency communications workers, for healthcare workers, are all of them now decided, you know what, it's time to join forces and send a message to the incompetent governments that is all of a sudden sending more money to Ukraine. UK is no different than the US. It's not a laughing matter. It's a big concern. But yes, to see the stupidity of the leadership, given that how in the UK you got 4 prime ministers in such a short time, from the clown Bojo to the incompetent Truss to now this guy Sunak, the prime minister, who by the way evaded paying taxes for his wife for over $24 million. It shows you right there how corrupted the system is. It's not just in the US. It is across the pond as well. So here's the thing with these demonstrators. They are sort of warning that there will be more strikes moving forward if their demands are not met, and rightly so. So the Sunak's government is saying, well, it's going to have to deploy the army. What? Yeah, that's what he's thinking. The Prime Minister Sunak is not equipped to be a Prime Minister. The guy lives in a bubble, in La La Land. He lives in a bubble, a millionaire of sort, And of course, let alone that he was a graduate or of the World Economic Forum. So you all see where the agenda will be headed. So, and here is what his government is doing now. They want to come up with a new law, and the law that the country, the UK in this case, will see protests over plans for a new law to curb strikes that, according to unions, could cause the dismissal of workers who legally vote to strike for their rights. So, to say it in a simple language is they want to strip the right of workers not to have any whatsoever. Talk about democracy. Where is it? It's an illusion, because that's the reality of it here. So there is the guy by the name Paul Nowak. I looked him up also. Paul Nowak is the General Secretary of the Trade Union Congress, which include member unions. And he said, and I quote, let me get the quote here, "After years of cruel, low wages, nurses, teachers, and millions of other civil servants have seen their living standards deteriorate and are poised to suffer more misery over wages." End of quote. Yeah, he is speaking on behalf of those demonstrators. He added, and I quote, "Instead of planning new ways to attack the right to strike, ministers should raise salaries at the level of economic sector and start with an appropriate increase in the salaries of public sector workers." End of quote. And I couldn't agree more with this guy here, because he's right. The UK is like, once again, following the footsteps of its master, the United States, sending more money to Ukraine while the British people are suffering. Because mind you that UK inflation hit about 10.5%, okay, annually. And there was just in December of last year, which is only, what, a month and a half ago, you know. At the same time, grocery prices, inflation, hit a record of 16.7%. In only 4 weeks since the beginning of this year. So, if you are British, you will be pissed. You will be mad. I will be. But that's exactly what is going on right now. So, and by the way, guys, if you like the content of this video so far, please hit that subscription button and hit the like button also. I would greatly appreciate it. So let me provide you the big picture. And the big picture is this, because we're not going to look at just the UK, you have to look at also Europe, which is in in the middle of a maelstrom crisis, energy one that is colossal beyond repair. So Europe is battling right now a cost of living crisis. They don't call it this way, by the way, in Western media. They call it just crisis energy. You know, it's a living crisis that the Europeans are living through right now. And the latest strikes here in the UK came only a day after more than 1.2 million people in France took to the street. You know, and why? To push against the government over pension reform plans. Because as you may know, the French government wants to increase the retirement to 64. The current one is 62. I'm a little familiar with France. I spent a lot of time in France, so I'm very familiar with their system. You know, people like their retirements over there. Well, now the government said they want to increase it, and they're saying, hell no, ain't gonna happen. So 1.2 million people descended in France. Descended to. You got also strikes in Spain, which we don't hear much about. You know, you got massive strikes in Copenhagen, in Denmark, which we don't hear about. So this is the reason why I wanted to do this video, to keep things in perspective for you guys, because you need to know. There are some who will say, what this has to do with me? A lot. It will impact you one way or another. Look no further than, for example, the energy prices. Okay? And I'm going to be releasing, you probably by now you've seen also the video that I'm going to be releasing about the OPEC Plus. You know, it will impact all of us at the gas pump. This is no different here. So, and to make matters even worse for the UK citizens, which is sad to say, is that their Prime Minister, the incompetent Sunak, now agreed to send $50 million of air defense to Ukraine. How insane those leaders are. And he's not the only one. You get the same in France. You get the delusional Olaf Scholz of Germany. You get the... Most European Union's leaders are incompetent. Let's just say it straightforward. You know. And there is another issue that goes in track with what's going on. Is that even the military in the UK is as weak as it can be. The British Army now is no longer regarded as a top-level fighting force. And this comes, by the way, in a released document from the Pentagon. You know, usually it was classified, but I guess it makes its way out. So the British cannot even defend its own. So what are they talking about? You know, we're going to fight Russians, we're going to fight this and that. When you couldn't even, your army is so weak, your economy is going down the drain. You know. And the idea of that even top, the ex-British Army chief warns that the UK will run out of ammo in one afternoon if it is at war. So, we should put things in perspective, and that gives you an idea as to where Britain is headed, you know. So, Britain basically, literally, they could run out of ammo within one afternoon if it was forced to go to war against Russia. And once again, this is according to that former army general. You know, usually in my experience in the military, and I used to be around some, you know, high-ranking officers, generals don't say unless they just want to push a political agenda. And there are some in Britain, British military, some retired generals, that they want to push certain agenda here and there, so you can just see. But overall, usually their statements are very measured. So here is my conclusion for you, just to put this in perspective, as I like to keep this sort of concise and to the point. Every day that passes by is digging a bigger pit for the UK economy. You know. And to hear, for example, the Prime Minister saying that, well, the spending is going to keep going, or will continue the government services as if nothing has happened. And it's just ridiculous. That shows you how much he is out of touch with the reality. The guy lives in a bubble, the Prime Minister. He doesn't understand the suffering of an average UK citizen, that they have to make ends meet on a basic now, a decreased salary. So when he says stuff like this, it doesn't make any sense. So when he says that the government services as if nothing has happened, and in the same breath talk about managing finances prudently, it is hard not to be struck with cognitive dissonance. Yes, I'll say it. I'm not going to hold back, because that's the insane what he's saying. So what is going to happen? What is going to happen in the UK? And this is just me thinking outside the box. It is going to get worse, because the numbers suggest that. A lot of businesses are going to have to reorganize or shut down as the government support wanes. It's no different than what's going on in Germany right now with the energy crisis. Some businesses are going to have to shut down. And this is, again, when you say to yourself, what's wrong with those leaders? Why couldn't they think about the welfare of their citizens? It's insane. But at least for me, could we be in a position to say, finally, we can now say with confidence, the sun has finally set on the British Empire. Yeah, I feel comfortable saying this. So how about if we further this conversation in a live stream like we did last time? And I hope you guys enjoy it. So just leave me some of your questions, and I will see you on a live stream. As always, remember, geopolitics impact your daily life in more ways than one. Till next time, guys. Bye-bye.